Well, here comes the big fall season, right? High school athletes preparing for what's coming up, and reports continuing to surface about young adults suddenly collapsing during a game without any prior symptoms, that is. It's called sudden cardiac death. Tragic stories emerging from courts and fields across the country. Cardiologist Dr. Campbell, assistant professor at the University of North Carolina, is here with this information, which is critically important to moms and dads and parents and these kids as well. So describe to me what you mean by sudden cardiac death. What causes it?
The most common cause of sudden cardiac death is an abnormal electrical heart rhythm, and this is called ventricular fibrillation. The only thing that can save a person who is in this heart rhythm is an electrical shock from an external defibrillator like you see on TV or in the movies.
Now, a lot of those schools have put these in. They've got them on hand, right? But they don't always, so we've had many deaths, right? Tell me what should be done. What should these kids be doing to make sure it doesn't happen?
First of all, every high school athlete needs a pre-participation history and physical exam. Talk to your doctor, have him listen to your heart and lungs, and make sure that you're safe to participate. There's a bit of controversy in the U.S. now as to whether we should be adding EKGs or electrocardiograms to this evaluation. I say yes.
You say yes, even though it would be expensive, it would be more money out there. But at the end of the day, it could probably save, what, how many lives a year?
We're looking at right now, the most current data is about 100 young athletes per year in the U.S. die suddenly. And a lot of this is preventable if you're able to identify they're at risk and then treat that condition or not allow them to participate in sports that put them at risk. So I think that the cost of an EKG, which is anywhere from 30 to 50 bucks if you have insurance, is not, prohibitive.
Not too much. So I don't really understand what causes it. Why do these kids have these abnormal heart rhythms?
Most commonly, they have an abnormal heart where the heart is very thick, and it's called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is a really thick heart muscle. When that heart muscle is really thickened like that, you can develop these dangerous heart rhythms and have sudden cardiac death. Again, having an AED or an automatic external defibrillator nearby can be life-saving.
So if you were able to diagnose this early, what would you tell these kids to do? Would they have to stop playing?
A lot of these kids would have to stop playing and not be allowed to participate. If they have certain symptoms or meet certain criteria in terms of how thick their heart is, or if they've passed out or had a dangerous heart rhythm, they actually would need an implantable defibrillator into their chest.
Wow.
To allow them to stay safe.
So that it would always be with them.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have to rely on the school having one on hand and somebody being able to use it. I think, isn't there something to the idea that athletes are just being pushed too hard these days?
I do think that athletics has become very, very important in our society. And I think that, we're all former athletes. Myself, I'm sure you as well. We always thought that, telling the coach you didn't feel well was a sign of weakness and you might get pulled from the starting lineup. But I think we need to really cultivate a society where we make sure that our athletes are not only pushed to excel, but also pushed to be safe and be smart.
I got to tell you, it's a scary thing. One of my friends had this very issue and died as a result. It's shocking, especially when it's someone so young. Thanks for bringing us this important story, Dr. Campbell.
Thanks for having me, Jerry.